extremely important function, the Professor S Mahesh Memorial Lecture. We are particularly delighted that Mr. Ajoy Mishra, the Global CEO and Managing Director of Tata Global Beverages, is here with us. And he has agreed to be the keynote speaker to deliver the memorial lecture. I'd like to say a few things first about Mahesh, but before I do that, I'd like to introduce Ajoy to you. His resume has already been seen by you. But I think when I first met Ajoy, and this is the context in which I was introduced to him, V.S. Mahesh used to be the head of HR for the Taj Group, and he said, Anil, we have this high potential leaders. And Ajoy is one of the best high potential leaders in the Taj Group. And he actually said that he requested me to do a workshop for the Taj Group. And he said that, even as I was preparing for the workshop, he singled him out and said, this was in the late 80s, and he said, he's a special leader because one, he's extremely focused on excellence at a young age. He wouldn't stand for anything which is substandard. And two, he really knew how to get the best out of people. And that's why on the two dimensions, which is both for excellence and getting best out of people, he was noticed at a young age. And that's when I first met him. And we had an enjoyable learning experience together. And later on, when we were asked to do this assignment by the board of Indian hotels to look at high potential leaders at the senior levels, to do succession planning, who should be the next CEO for the Taj Group, and how can the senior talent of Taj Group also be leveraged for top management positions in the rest of Taj Group. And there we had this joy of once again discovering his talent and his wonderful talent, and which of course to the board of Indian hotels, then we gave our own understanding of appreciating his talent. And through that process, which was a very joyful process, because one could meet him, but also discover him through the eyes of his colleagues and the wonderful things they were saying as a part of the 360 process, and then the psychometrics that we ran and so on and so forth. That was the second time that one discovered his unique talent. So we are very, very grateful that you came, Ajoy. I know you had tons of other things to do, and I know your assistant was continuously trying to manage your travels along with this program, but thank you for coming. So once again, let's give a big round of applause. Now about Mahesh. I'll never forget today, there were 40 students in our MBA class, all went for the interview to for summer internship. Those days there was no placement cell. It was a new MBA program in the University of Pune. There was only one. My father had retired in Pune, and that was the only MBA program I had applied to. We all went. And all of us were interviewed, and Mahesh asked me, so Anil, I want to know from you, what's the purpose of your life? But he had never asked me this question in an interview context. But my spiritual teacher had asked me, who are you? Why are you here? And I said to Mahesh that, my dream is to work for making this country truly something we can be proud of by working in a company which can build a great work culture. And then with that dream, I would like to serve the rest of corporate India so that we can really take responsibility for building a country. Mahesh really liked that. And out of the entire class of 40 students, I was the only student selected. Only one intern. Because there were others were from IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Calcutta, IIM Bangalore, so on and so forth, and I was the one from Pune. Those 2 months I spent in Telco, Pune. When I arrived on my internship, my training guide, my summer internship leader, I don't know if this thing must be happening even to you. The summer internship leader, who was my boss and my guide, when I landed there, I am told he has gone on leave. The man who was supposed to give me my internship guide, I don't know if this happens to you in internship also. The person you are supposed to report to, that person has gone on a long leave. I didn't know what to do. Nobody knew what to do with me. And fortunately, the next department was Mahesh. He told me, I said, what are you doing here? I said, I've come for summer training. I said, where is your guide? I said, I believe he's on leave. How much leave? I said, 1 month. He said, oh my God, Mr. M.K. Mukhopadhyay was training manager. He said, okay, I will sit down here. I'll be all right. So that's how the journey with him started. And I just want to say how wonderful it was. Mahesh used to do 3 things. One, if you ever walked into an office without having a diary and noting down the conversation, these days we have, of course, smartphones. But he said, Anil, I know you have a great memory, but remember, you will never ever leave my room without noting down our conversation. I don't want you to rely on your memory to understand what is to be done. 1. 2, he created something very simple. He used to tell each one of us, you will all read 1 book in a month. And once in a month, we will do a potluck at each other's homes where we will present the ideas of that book to each other. So there were 10 of us. And every month we would meet, and every month one of us was asked to present a book to each other, right? Number 3, he said to me, and that's how I joined Telco. I had applied and I was about to join, I had offers from the usual well-known company which I had managed to get myself. But he met me in Vaishali, this restaurant in Pune. And I was dating my wife Neera, and we are sitting in Vaishali early morning because she's from Ferguson College Hostel, and we couldn't wait to spend enough time with each other. So early morning, as soon as she would come out, let's go and have it, right? So we would sit in Vaishali and we were early morning, 7:30, doing our early morning date. And this was a Saturday, and comes Mahesh and him, and they walk in and say, I say, what are you doing here? I said, he said, I know, but what the hell are you up to? You haven't come back for a job. I said, I didn't know that you are going to hire MBA this year. No, you are joining Telco tomorrow. He said, I don't care. I don't want you to spoil the rest of your life selling soap or becoming some management training company with some multinational. That's a waste of time. Come and help me to build the finest automobile company in the country. I want you to work in HR. Forget about because my MBA was marketing and HR. He said, everybody does marketing. That's a waste of time for you. You come and work in HR. And if you come in HR, I think you will learn a lot. And you will be thanking me that you made that decision. So I just want to remember Mahesh. He came back from University of Buckingham where he created the world's first master's program based on service excellence and taught there with distinction for many years. And then he returned home. And I'll never forget what he told me. He said, Anil, when you turn 50, you are should not be any longer excited by how much money you were making or what deal that you sold to a customer. That's okay for somebody in 40. At 50, you should be asking yourself, what am I giving back? And at 60, which is what he was when he came back, he said, at 60, you should be shutting up and not talking about only giving back, but then asking yourself, what are you learning now? So he said, I want to learn more at 60. So therefore, I want to come and teach in India. And that's how the beautiful relationship is started. Unfortunately, before it could blossom in his 3rd year of teaching in soil, he suddenly passed away. And, so I think I owe a lot to Mahesh. It was because of him that I and Neera both, our life changed in one direction. Otherwise, we would have been doing some other stuff in some other part of the country. And that's how it led to different things. So I can't thank him enough. If you are online, I don't know if you are listening from Chennai. Thank you, him. I and Neera thank you from the bottom of our heart for what you and Mahesh brought to our lives. And thank you for who you are. Right from the young age that you were the beautiful woman that Mahesh married. And we were always jealous of him that you were the most beautiful, wonderful, graceful spouse in the Tata Group, and everybody used to look up to you. I just want to thank you for your wonderful energy. And with this, may I now request Ajoy to please deliver the Mahesh Memorial Lecture. And after that, this will be a 1-hour session. So the first 30 minutes, Ajoy will share his insights, and the next 30 minutes, you can ask him any questions. Thank you very much. Let's.
Sorry, I'll just get this. Okay with this. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be in the midst of a classroom. I think it's been about 38 years, 37, 38 years since I sat last in my class. That was in Faculty of Management Studies here in Delhi. And since then, I have only been to, I think, 3 or 4 campuses in recent years, but I certainly feel the desire to, to talk to young minds, and therefore the combination of S Mahesh in his memory and the invitation I got from Anil, it wasn't going to be difficult for me to accept the invitation. It was only the question of date and time which I was struggling with for a couple of months. But I'm so glad that I managed to make it. And I spent the last 35 odd minutes with Anil and his team, faculty team, trying to understand the concept of soil. And I think it's a very interesting way in which to prepare young leaders. And I'm quite interested in knowing more. So I think over the next few months, I shall interact with Anil a little bit more and understand. Coming to the subject, yes, I and Mr. S Mahesh had a very interesting relationship, that of a mentee and him being my mentor. And both of us, I think, respected our respective approaches to leadership. And I think in many ways, I've learned a lot from him. He has transformed many aspects of my leadership, my understanding of excellence. And I hope I contributed something for him in those 10 odd years that Mr. Mahesh was with the Taj, where I spent almost 28, 29 years. So also, Mr. S Mahesh is a senior of mine in TAS. He is TAS batch of 1971, and I am TAS batch of 1980. So, in a sense, there was also a relationship. There is a bond between TAS people, as indeed any cadre. Like I'm sure a batch of soil students for many years will continue to, have a special relationship with your batch, or with your cadre, or with your institute. So similarly, with Mr. Mahesh, there was that relationship also, which gave it special meaning for me. And in many ways, he actually felt that he wants to become my mentor and groom me, which is how the relationship, sort of matured. And so I thought a few things I would like to come and share with the link to this great man. So So what did I learn from Mahesh? I think quite a few things, but I tried to capture a few. And let me start from here that what I learned about him was he actually started off as a nuclear physics student and was heading roughly in that direction. But I think he intrinsically had a passion for people and people development. And he did not hesitate to get into an area which is very different than the subjects that he was, studying and was, had gone into. So he actually stepped out of his area of comfort, and what a name he's created for himself and the respect. How have I learned from it? I was just sharing my most recent version of how I also pretty late in life, eight years back, decided to step out of my comfort zone of hotels, which I could, in my sleep, I could drive excellence in that business. I knew it so well, having worked on it right from ground level onwards. But I said, I have stopped learning, I have stopped growing, and I could spend the next 8-10 years that I have left doing more of the same. Or why don't I jump out and get into and ask for something which is completely new and reinvent myself. And that is what I did when I jumped from Indian Hotels Company, which is large, and jumped into Tata Global Beverages, which is a completely different kind of company. It's an FMCG company, it's a tea company, world #2 tea company. And I think that was the second or the third major time in life that I stepped out of my comfort zone. Just about the time Mahesh was leading the Taj, I used to be up till there in sales and marketing. And I was like, thorough master at everything I was doing. And but again, I had stopped growing. And in fact, Mahesh brought me up and he mentored me and said, go to your managing director, ask him that you want to get into operations. Ask him that you want to run our hotel and not just do sales and marketing for the group. So, and it doesn't matter that you're not a domain expert in that. It doesn't matter you haven't gone to a catering college and done, what hotel operations people do. But you're a manager. So why don't you pitch and ask for a drastic change in your career, which I did. I actually sought a meeting with the managing director. I created a pitch and I delivered it. And within 2 weeks, I was, pulled out from the Delhi sales and marketing setup and sent to Bombay as general manager to run the Taj restaurant. This was 1991, 92. And that it was a big deal that time. Nobody in the hotel industry would make a non-operations person and a non-catering college person, somebody who hasn't worked for years in food and beverage or in front office or in kitchens, etc., would normally get that opportunity. So that again was an example. I remember I sat first day in this huge general manager's desk, and I said to myself, now when I call the morning meeting of departmental heads, where do I start? So almost from approaching it by common sense, and I said I'd already figured out that I will start my initial days by not pretending that I know anything about this business, but that I'm willing to learn. I'm not going to jump to give decisions because I'm keen to give decisions. I'm going to hear everybody's point of view, absorb the issue, and then put the customer in the center. And this is where Mahesh's training came in. Everything at the end of the day in that service company, in that service business, whether it was a hotel company or an airline company or many other services, is all about delivering service excellence to the consumer. So every decision that I would make as general manager about whether it's an issue about some reservation, rooms booking, it's about some F&B area, or if it's about some housekeeping, or if it's regarding any aspect of the hotel, I would put the customer at the center and say, how can we delight him? And then the decision of everything else falls into place. So that's S Mahesh. One aspect. I'll come to service excellence in a little bit more shortly. The second thing is Mahesh would teach me not to be afraid to say what matters, but always work in a team spirit. Always keep people on your side. Be nice to them, be considerate, mean well. But even if you believe something is not happening right, say it and do it. And I think that learning right through my career has helped me in good stead. Perhaps sometimes it hasn't. Perhaps sometimes it delayed me in my career path because I was a little too blunt and I was not very politically correct. But if something was not right for the company, for the customer, for the consumer, I never hesitated to stand up for that. Pretty much like what Mahesh had taught me, and pretty much Mahesh was like that. He had differences with at least one boss in my company that I knew he reported into. But he never hesitated. He never hesitated to say I must please him. Never lose sight of the big picture. Keep connecting the dots. Again, the big picture is about the consumer. The big picture is about giving service excellence. Once you keep that, insight, you can't go wrong in what you set out to do. You can see an example of how he built enduring relationships. I mean, I was 10 years his junior, and yet the mere mention that there is a memorial lecture, and yes, it is a stretch for me to, at this point, with the new group chairman who's seeking series of meetings, and it's a budget season and all of that, but it was just getting delayed, and I said, I can't keep delaying it like that. I should make time to come out for this man. Yet another thing about Mahesh, always be ahead of the curve. He did not sit back and say that the Taj is already one of the finest hotel companies, giving one of the finest service. But we are all conscious that there are others who are, also in that zone. How do we stay much ahead of the curve? Is when he started his program, which I'll talk about service excellence. Meaning he actually was one of the pioneers who created a program. Before I come to that, these are what I called out just now. On the right are the values of my current company that we have crafted and we live by. And I saw reflections of our values in Tata Global Beverages. Lead by innovation, collaborate to succeed, accomplish with agility, doing good, consumer centricity. And then I see soil with its mindfulness, compassion, ethics, sustainability, diversity. I think there are gems here, whether it be those slogans, these themes, some other values. So I thought I'd just put this up to say, there is some element of universal truth in some of these, whether it be an institute or it be a person who leaves behind a legacy or it be a company that lays out its value system. So I am going to now spend the next 5-7 minutes talking about service excellence. So he, in his quest to search for how to deliver this excellence, and in his deep research, he came across and pulled out a theme or a concept called moments of truth that Jan Carlson of SAS then in the 80s, 70s, 80s had coined and driven that program across the whole of Scandinavian air service. At that time, a loss-making airline, an airline that was going downhill and losing to many other international airlines that everybody would swear by for service excellence. But Jan Carlson was entrusted with the task of turning around this airline, and he had a simple mantra, and his mantra was, if this airline company can deliver delight, which he called moments of truth, in every interaction that the customer has, every touch point of that airline, if he can drive excellence, all the customers will want to come back, more and more will want to come, and you're back in business. And he actually turned around the company by driving service excellence at its core. And I tried to look for that original video which Mahesh had crafted with several case studies, SAS being one, but I couldn't really find it. It's been 25 odd years, couldn't locate it anywhere. But I managed to get one part of the essence of what he was trying to say, which I'm going to try and play. I need some help from somebody who can now go to that video and just see if I can put it at appropriately high volume. Last time it was a little low. It's one of those files.
There's a concept out there called a moment of truth. Years ago, a gentleman named Jan Carlson was asked to take over a failing airline that was losing millions of dollars, Scandinavian Airlines, big airline over in Europe. And he said, well, how are we going to turn this thing around? And he came up with this concept called the moment of truth. And he defined the moment of truth in business is that anytime a customer comes into contact with any aspect of a business, they form an impression. In his case, he had an airline, so it was anytime a passenger came into contact with any aspect of the airline, they would form an impression. And what he did is he went to every city that Scandinavian Airlines had a presence in, and he gathered all of the employees and he put them into a big airplane hangar, and he did a presentation, and he talked about managing the moment of truth. When that passenger has any interaction with anybody, they have that opportunity to form that impression. That's the moment of truth. And he talked about how they can go good and they can go bad. And he talked about how typical moments of truth might be if the passenger picks up the phone and makes a call and makes a reservation, which, by the way, today we use a computer. Back then, they used the phone. This is the early 1980s. And then on the day of departure, they check their bags at the curb. They go into the ticket counter, and they check in there. And as they're walking toward their gate, maybe they see a flight attendant smile at them. And that's not a big moment of truth, but Jan Carlson emphasized that even the smallest moments of truth are so important. I think about companies like Disney. Every cast member or new employee they have, and cast members is what they call their employees, that comes to work at Disney has to go through 2 days of training. And they talk about managing the magic, which is the interaction that a cast member or an employee has with the guests of the theme park. And in a moment you're going to see, I tie this into the experience I had in St. Louis when I visited the branch. And as soon as I walked in, how I was greeted. And as I walked back to talk to the person in the back at the counter who's going to give me the tour of the place, another employee smiled at me and waved at me, just as the flight attendant waved at me. Just as Disney says in their training program, you must manage every interaction, even the smallest ones, because those are just as important because they add up. So as if you're at Disney, and by the way, I call it something like the 10-foot, 5-foot rule. Perhaps you guys are familiar with this. Within 10 feet or so of a customer, what they said, if you're within 10 feet or so of a guest, you should acknowledge that guest with a facial expression. Now I added that at Disney, it needs to be a smile. This man walking by Mickey Mouse when he scowls at the kid. That's not what they're trying to achieve. And it goes for any interaction that you have. You want to make it positive. You smile at your customer. And then within 5 feet or so at Disney, they say, acknowledge that guest verbally. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Just small, little interactive, conversation. You made it it's a wave and a hi. That may be all it is. But you're managing the magic. And that's what Disney calls it. And Jan Carlson called it managing the moments of truth in the flight attendant smile. Not a big one, but an important one. And then, of course, you get to the gate, you're taking care of it, the flight attendant takes care of you. And Jan Carlson said, if we manage everything well, it's all going to come back. Customers are going to come back. Money's going to start happening again. We'll stay in business, and that's what it takes. And you know what? It was great, because Jan Carlson, with that simple idea of managing the moment of truth, turned around the entire airline to become not just financially successful again, but to become the most admired airline in the entire airline industry. All because people were managing the moments of truth. It's that simple. And that's what we need to do with our customers. We need to manage every interaction that we have with them. Every interaction. And by the way, Jan Carlson said they can go good and they could be bad. I say there's a third way. And by the way, I have names for these. And you probably already figured out the good ones are moments of magic. That's that positive moment of truth. A bad one is a moment of misery. We avoid those. Those are complaints. Those are problems. And then there's a third moment of truth that Jan Carlson didn't talk about. He said they could be good and they could be bad. And we've already talked about it. I want to emphasize this again. Satisfactory is not good enough. A satisfactory or average moment of truth is what I call a moment of mediocrity. And mediocrity does not take us to the level that we are today. Does not give us the success that we have today. I share this with the importance and the emphasis that every moment of truth, even if it's a moment of misery, is an opportunity to create a moment of magic. Every moment of truth, don't settle for satisfactory. Bump it up just a little bit. Be consistently better than average, and you're operating at the zone of amazement.
So this is the theme that Mahesh brought into the Taj. Crafted programs, crafted training sessions across from people who are from end to end, whether it be the doorman, whether it be before that the reservations person, the doorman, the bellboy, check-in, every aspect. We started training people, meaning if you notice what that gentleman was saying, you have to manage every moment of truth or every aspect where a customer is being touched. You can't leave it, you have to manage it. You have to train people, you have to set standards, you have to set goals. In a 5-star hotel like a Taj, never should a customer who's checking in have to ever wait. He should be immediately received and checked in. No waiting, no queue. So for that, we began to work backwards to design that. How many people do we need for service in 3 shifts? And so and similarly at checkout, what is the threshold amount of time we will take for a checkout? And then to manage a checkout in this much time, what all do we need to do? So every moment was then crafted and managed to create that kind of excellence. By the way, let me ask any of you, how many, assume there is a person who checks in to a Taj hotel, how many moments of truth do you think are there that have to be managed in a 24-hour cycle? Anybody take a guess? Per person. Then you have to multiply that per person with total. So let's start with a person. It's an interesting exercise because that's how Mahesh started off. Because we used to say, so, or would somebody like to take the mic and start sharing what you are counting? And, yeah.
Start with booking, registration booking. So after that, airport pickup, and then entrance in the lobby, that is through Dalwal, and after that check-in, or something to pick up the luggage from guest, and then escorting to the elevator or to the room, and after that explaining about the room services, IRD, what the restaurant, and meanwhile the room service escorting the guest to the room. The guest service associate or GRE will explain the services over there. After that, the food and beverage services, thinking about the different food aspect and the restaurants, the bar, and after that, the explaining about the room services, what is the type of bed, so bed and the laundry services and all. And after that, recreational facilities that the hotel and business center, and in the basically what all facilities are there, and where a person can visit, somebody there for tourist purposes. And after checking out, and then same goes to the hotel.
Good. So you have some experience of working for So you work for Marriott. In what capacity? So you can, thanks, what's your name? Sandeep. Thanks, Sandeep. So you can see the complexity if you have to deliver service excellence to every customer who comes to your hotel. You have to multiply this kind of a thing, but I will elaborate more, it's much more relevant. Into that many people, into that many days, into that many, so in a year, what do you have to gear up for to manage every moment of truth in terms of delivering service excellence? So there are many things in between. It's when you first, it's even when you're driving in, is your car, having to wait till security, all of that. So you set yourself a standard and say, then what do you need to do? How do you need to design driveways, especially with the new security thing that has happened. So recraft that. Similarly, Darbar Point, Bellboy, all that. But even if you enter the lobby, how does the lobby smell? Is it smelling fresh? Is it smelling not? You have to manage smell. You have to manage, then the receptionist. How did she or he? Was there a smile? Was there a greeting? You've been staying in this hotel in the past. Did somebody acknowledge that, welcome you, thank you? So guest history is important. So we need to make sure we have very good guest history linked with when we take the reservation of that person, so that that interaction can be managed, and so on and so forth. The lift, how long did the lift take? You have to keep waiting. Similarly, in the room, quality of the bath linen, quality of bed linen. You are interacting with that. And if you pitch your hotel as a 5-star hotel, or on the other extreme as a budget hotel, you have to, for that price point, still give value, and still, in value means you have to give excellence at the right price. But if you're at the luxury end, which is where Taj was pitching, everything had to be then managed, and every point of interaction had to be of that kind that created excellence. So yes, ballpark that, plus much more has to be managed. So it is that kind of an approach to service excellence. It was that kind of a passion. Unfortunately, I don't think he was long enough in the Taj to have been able to cover every aspect, everybody, every function for a long period, so that this gets fully embedded in the DNA. But I think he has left a legacy where certainly till date, people in the Taj are still talking about managing moments of truth. And I think that's one hell of a compliment and respect for somebody who brought this. Mahesh then went on to look for other examples from other areas of service excellence. I remember he picked up a story of a family-run grocery store in the US where this father and his wife and their two sons now manage a fairly upmarket large grocery store where he designed service excellence in a way that around this mom and pop grocery self-service large department store that we are talking about, I'm forgetting the name. It's not a big name, it's not a Walmart or something like that, but the story roughly went that there were lots of other organized stores in that vicinity, in that neighborhood of that American city or town. This was actually a town outside, not like a New York City. And therefore, regular customers, household people who were customers who would come, housewives, everybody. In the neighborhood, there were many organized stores, but there was this one which gave a special touch and delivered service excellence, where everybody around was giving strawberries already packed. He actually was offering fresh strawberries, which are loose and you can actually pick. With something, those days I'm talking, today many people may have learned this because the story has gone all around. So things like that, he would manage, every aspect of his service and product to be absolutely excellent. And he was, this entity was able to actually charge 15-20% more. And more people would flock to this store rather than any other store. So that was another example Mahesh had brought and shared widely with us all. So many things like these were, I think, were quite legendary. When Mahesh realized, to your point, Pradeep, when we were talking, when Mahesh realized that Taj actually didn't have a systematic recruitment process to hire the best service staff to man our, growth, and we were growing like crazy. Number of hotels that we were adding in India and internationally. He actually created, so there was some level of recruitment. General manager, operations, and vice presidents of regions used to go to catering colleges, do interviews, and they used to either recruit somebody straight into front office or somebody straight into housekeeping or food and beverage or kitchen. It wasn't a systematic program. He created what was perhaps one of the most robust programs at the Taj then, which sort of continues up till now, and that was the Management Training Scheme and the Hotel Operations Management Training Scheme, HMP and HOMP. How do you know them? Right, so you would know about that. So this whole thing up in those days, companies would either do a management training scheme or they would take recruitment straight into functional areas. But this concept of a hotel operations management training and HMP and NMP and how to manage the interaction between the two programs, because one was pitched at a little more general level, this was more operations, both are management training programs, yet the profiles that we were looking for were slightly different, and so on and so forth. So, but he did put that into play. And for many years, this created a robust pipeline of people that entered the Taj. In fact, today, whenever I stay in hotels, not just Taj or any of our friendly competitors, I bump into HMP and HOMP people. They're all over the industry. So that's quite a revolutionary thing that I remember of him. And lastly, I remember another legacy that he has played a great role in, which he's left behind for the Taj. That was the what is today, I think it's called IIHM Aurangabad. Yeah, IHM Aurangabad. So that is actually a school set up by the Taj. So he actually designed and worked with a set of people and colleagues. Actually, designed one of the most innovative programs for the hotel industry. And I think he did try to bring in some of his service excellence points and approach into that college. I have personally lost touch at this point in time, so I don't know how much of that is still there. But when I was hearing Anil, your story about what inspired, how is soil different than some other MBA programs and all of that, I think Mahesh was heading in that direction with IHM Aurangabad. I don't know whether he was able to finish what his vision may have been. So in fact, now that I'm talking about it, I'm curious to find out, what's happening there. And so those, I thought these are some of those things that I wanted to recount. These are very, very significant contributions to us, to people in service businesses. And pardon me, but I'm only talking about service industry and Taj, because my interaction, unfortunately, with Mahesh has only been at the Taj. And somehow after that, I also lost touch with him, and he moved on, I think, to Wipro. And then he went on to teach. I think I met him a couple of times. We spoke, we met once or twice, but never really managed to spend as much time as I would like to. And is him, and him, if you're online and dialed in, I want to say hi to you. I do remember you, and I hope some of the points that I recollected about Mahesh, I've got it right, because it's been a while and I have moved out of the industry, and I actually never gave all of this much thought, Anil, because the FMCG world is very different. In the service industry, whether it be in the hotels or it be in airlines, I was taking these two because I'm familiar with it. Your customer is in your face. You're serving the customer then and there. You're making a difference to your sales and therefore profitability by managing each moment of truth. And that's what you do. As in the FMCG world, let's say tea that I said, I'm not able to manage the moment of truth because, there are, let's say, 5 million retail outlets that sell tea. I have visibility, meaning my company has visibility to manage tea buying. I manage logistics, factories, production, packaging, logistics, warehouses, 3,000 distributors in our case, distributors who distribute to a couple of million retail outlets. Up till now, I don't have a consumer yet. Then from the retail outlets, the consumer is coming and picking up tea, taking it home and consuming. Now, I have no control. I feel so, initial days I felt rather helpless about this whole thing. I said, I'm not used to producing results without being able to see my consumer live online and see whether he's smiling, having my tea, or scowling. Is he making an expression, or is he delighted? So that is a different world. So for me, I recollected service excellence only because I was giving it thought as to what should I speak about today. So anyways, some random perspectives. I just thought you're all young minds. If there are some gems we can all pick up from Mahesh's life and my recollections about him, and some points I've made, I would have felt it worthwhile to have come all the way here. Delighted to open the house for the next 10-12 minutes for any questions or comments, and please do make this a little more interactive. Raise your hands and we will get you the mic.
Thank you for your time, sir. Firstly, so my question is more related to one specific instance that you recall about you applying for a position which was beyond sales and marketing. Now, I found it it was a very interesting story, because I feel maybe nowadays, these top level executives, they look for an experienced chap or an experienced person for a specific sector, and perhaps it may not be possible for someone to make this kind of move. But just to maybe dig deeper into this, if you could give us some insight as to what exactly was your pitch, and how did you prepare while going into that room before meeting your GM? That would be great. Thank you.
Good question. And yes, you're right. I have been faced with that a few times in my life, and I had to crash through it. So that was the first time I had to face it. I was not an IIHM graduate like some of you have been to schools and all that. I'm a civil engineer, and then I did my MBA. That does not, and therefore I was extremely well positioned and qualified for sales. In my company, I was telling Anil this. My boss, another TS lady, very well, perhaps India's greatest marketeer, Kamelia Punjabi. She would not let anybody, DAS or anyone, come to the company and ask for marketing. First you have to do sales. You have to do sales for a few years. You have to do sales of a few types of channels. 2 years in each channel. So I did, tour group, international tour group sales, which is travel agency and airline related. Then I did commercial sales, which is corporate, etc. Then I went to regional sales, and so it was that kind of person. So I was very well qualified for that. So I was in comfort zone, and I could continue and aspire to be a Kamelia Punjabi one day, but not everybody can become a Kamelia Punjabi. Maybe I would have settled somewhere less than that. So, but my ambition is to be a CEO one day. So to be a CEO, I have to have operations under my belt. I did. Not that everybody does have to, but I felt I needed to complete myself. So you have to believe. You can't just go there and give a pitch, not believing in yourself that, there's conviction as to why. You have to believe, and you have to invest. You have to understand what does it take to understand operations. One way is to work 2 years in every department function, work, chop onions in the kitchens for 8 days on end, and all of that to become a hotel operations person. The other is that there are domain experts that are there for that. So my pitch was about, I'm not pitching because I'm a domain expert. I think I can do that job better than the other general manager because I come with this deep customer centricity approach. I've done sales. I understand the consumer. I know what that person is looking for. You want excellence. I will give you excellence. I will manage excellence in my hotel. And by now I'm armed with Mahesh's moments of truth and all of that. I will drive a program that will lift service levels to levels where I can produce results which perhaps the other person or more people in my company can't give me a chance. Kind of page if I recollect.
There's a broader question about the Indian economy. So right now we are growing at a pace of around 7.2%, and China's economy is slowing down. And yesterday, Ram Rajan said that India will be overcoming the size of economy as compared to China in upcoming years. The question is it time for India to become a global manufacturing hub? Is taking the fact India contributes around 8% of the GDP, in manufacturing contributes around 8% GDP, and China is around 20%. The question is about so India should become a manufacturing hub, global manufacturing hub, which is trying to control the international supply.
I'm not an expert in this subject, so I won't be able to add value to answering your question. It's also it's a very deep question whether it should be manufacturing, should it be service, or it currently is IT, which is another form of service. But whether manufacturing is the answer, I'm not sure. But I certainly believe India should lead and continue to be leading and growing exponentially in service. I think we intrinsically, we Indians, are better positioned, and we have great assets there. Whether it be IT service or it be financial services, it be tourism services, the medical care services, all of these services, I think, is something that we can succeed and be big. Also because we can draw on the demographic dividend that we have, which almost nobody else has. So all of this is going towards services more.
So spending 13 years in the same group. So what was the driving force? Like now, as we now we switch like every 2 to 3 years. What was the driving force that you always kept? When we look at your profile, sir, from civil engineering to MBA, then getting into a different altogether marketing is really now what we say different group than what you were doing in Switzerland. 30 years there, 8 years in beverages. So and the same group. So many questions in the same group. Why? Like why or moments of growth? What were your moments?
So actually, this question becomes easy to answer because of the group that we are talking about. It's the Tata. So since it's the Tata group, but it doesn't mean that the same thing happens today. Even within Tata companies, there's people who think that what you're saying. But relatively, I would say it's still much higher because it's a pull of the brand and the values that it stands for. I think that's what's unique. And if you're already starting with Tatas, why do you need to leave and go somewhere else? People leave other companies, try to come to the Tata group to work because this is a very ethical, clean, driven by principles. You can sleep peacefully every night, and because no boss is going to make you do something ethical. So it's just one of those things that. Plus, I think also if you continue to keep doing new things, different things, and you continue to keep growing. There is very little reason to leave. And by the way, there has always been in my career a very good reason why I should have left the Tata several times. That's because the Tatas are not the best paymasters. But that somehow was never any significant factor.
Good evening, sir. So this is one of the fabulous sessions which I have seen this morning.
So I just have one question to you. Like I was working in Tata Consultancy Services, so I was questioning to my CEO as well. So this is beyond your mentor-mentee relationship. Like apart from these learnings, when as the CEO in under Tata Sons board, so whether I have occasion to meet with other Tata Venture CEOs like Rajesh Gurjar, Mr. Chandrasekhar, Tata Sons. So what kind of learnings apart from business? What kind of other learnings will be discussions will be having?
So yes, so obviously you know that Mr. N. Chandrasekharan is now the group chairman, and not only the group chairman, he's also chairman of Tata Global Beverages, one of the few Tata companies that he has chosen. I think only 6 companies because he told us initially one day that he doesn't want to be on more than these many because he can't do justice. And he just wants to make sure that he makes a fundamental difference to the group by looking at a set of companies that can actually transform the group. He is my first, second, third, fourth, fifth boss. And I think each of the bosses have left an imprint in me in my interactions with them. I learned a lot from each of those bosses. And similarly, yes, the current chairman, lots of learnings. It's fantastic to see how somebody led a company like TCS and transformed it. I think he took over in 2009 or something. What a transformation, what a scale, what market capitalization. I mean, it's an amazing story. And glimpses of that, gems of his learnings, we get in every interaction we have. So it's quite fascinating. The rest is too confidential for me to speak. But so, yeah. I think you wanted to ask something? No.
I was just saying something interesting. Just, your session, I just felt like showing Facebook Live, so it was Facebook Live, and this session. And one of the persons watching was like a client of mine, Bharat Vyas, who was managing director of Amul. He's the man who built this 5 million consumers interaction, and he was at that time trying to look at service excellence amongst all the retail outlets. And Bharat Vyas was saying something that he personally felt that if people feel like they own the company, then they rise from the inside. I mean, Mahesh often also talked about the intrinsic motivation. So I'm curious to know, how do you build this sense of ownership with every single employee, even on the shop floor, in the market, or in the retail field, as if I own the company? How do you create that?
So interesting that you say, because the lady I referred to first was media, actually instilled that in us. Every now and then in meetings with her, she would fire us, me and my other colleagues, and say, you just want to give this discount? Huh? I mean, if you were to own this company, you would guard every rupee of what you are giving away. You have to think like, and she was a Sindhi, she said, you have to think like a Sindhi. And she used to tell me, I'm going to, make you think like a Sindhi. That's the only contribution I'll make to your career. You have to guard the company's money, and so you have to spend very tightly. You have to. So that's a personal story, but that doesn't explain the whole Taj Group's philosophy, which I'll come to. But I thought I will share that with you, that this insight that she gave, that every now and then ask yourself the question: if this was your company, would you do this or not? So that was one insight. However, I think once again the question that you're asking perhaps is also linked to what we saw on 9/11. So that has to do a lot with the Tata Group thing that I was talking. When employees feel that that's the kind of company they work for, These are the kind of value systems. They feel they belong. And when they belong, it's in a way saying, it is my company. And Atithi Devo Bhava. So, that's, in that company, that culture was magic. Meaning, first you're a Tata employee, and then you'll be brought out on, guest is God, service excellence, at all cost. It's something quite important. Sure. One last question, I would say.
I'll just
Yes.
take the privilege of asking the last question. In fact, so I can do without mic. Thank you, Mr. Mishra. But I have been teaching the subject of managing organizational changes as part of HR course, and we have done the 2611 case Taj. And I wanted to ask you personally that what was it that revived this organization back from what we say a lot of destruction which happened? What was it in HR? Because when we relate to fighting for the country and we say that, okay, give up whatever you have, that's a separate call. But when we, as HR, as people, as employees in an organization, when you have to go ahead and do things for an organization, what is it that is happening out there? What is it that happened? You would like to know personally.
You're saying post that,
Post.
how did we manage the fallout, or how did HR create a culture in which people stayed back and took bullets?
Right.
Which one?
Second one.
Second one. I think it again is linked to what I was saying. It's again linked to somewhere they take the ownership, they feel this is my hotel, these are my guests, I have to serve them, serve. We had never taught them that serve them, service excellence means take the bullet. That we never actually taught them. That just happened. Everything else we taught them, how to serve, how to give service excellence, Atithi Deva Bhava, all of that we had taught them. This was never taught. And I don't know that whether anybody or I even have a right to say, how did we manage that moment of truth? I think it will take much more research for somebody to actually find out what happened. Because it's not one department, one function. It's not one level of person in the company. It was top to bottom. And what makes that happen? The only thing I can explain is this whole culture and brand of the Tatas and that pride of working for Tatas. And yes, if somehow something has given the employees a feeling that, of ownership, that this is my company and these are my guests, I think then you have done that. So that was quite, I get emotional because I was in the middle of all that. So the other thing that we did was immediately, we made sure that, we reached out to all the families of all the volunteers who not only gave their life, but also risked. And we, sort of did a series of reach outs and rehabilitated Mr. Ratan Tara himself and to meet every single. So a lot of all of that also we had to do because there was fear. There was fear, and there is real fear every single day people come to work because this can happen again. So it's a complex subject. We can have a chat about it one day. I have many personal experiences. At that time, of course, I did a bit of HR handling and lent my shoulder to it. I, in fact, became the MC of a major memorial program we did within days, got all the stuff. And since I was perhaps the only person in the company who could address them in Hindi, I anchored the whole program. And I saw firsthand what the emotions were. But just to close the subject, but what I was handling live at that point, because I was by now back in marketing, I was heading global marketing for Raj. I was managing a crisis cell, which was managing consumers and customers who from all over the world their families are calling. Many have been rushed to hospitals. Many slithered down and have disappeared into the night. All the rooms have, baggage left in them, and the terrorists are in there, systematically destroying the whole hotel. So management of a crisis like that, from a customer's point of view, to ensure that we are able to tens of thousands of concerned people want to talk to somebody in the hotel. Their lines are down, it's all bombed out. So it was quite a process trying to create that cell, and we used mix of messaging on television to opening hotlines and advertising phone numbers, having many of our colleagues man those, but we don't have information because we don't have a list of who are the guests in house, because the front office system is all bust. So we don't have a record of who all were in the hotel that day with us, who were our guests, and how do we therefore manage their families and calls. And one by one we have to sit and piece it all together and bring normalcy within 5-6 days, and actually manage to make sure that every single customer and his well-wisher, his or her, and family member or whoever was satisfied with the level of recovery that we have done.
Just want to remember, because this part which Joy just mentioned, I'll never forget it. We were working with the Taj, so I also early morning took the flight, went to Brazilian hotel. I was there, Srinivas and everyone else. And the news came that the general manager of Taj Mumbai, Karamveer, lost his wife and children. So they asked me through my sister to convey the news to General Khan and his wife in Chandigarh, because my brother-in-law was a retired army officer and brigadier who had known General Khan. So they were supposed to go and break the news. So that evening at Wellington New, we went, and I and my colleague Shailen went and met Karamveer and his parents. And now what do you tell somebody who just lost his wife and children? I just gave him a hug and sat down. There was complete silence, and after some time his mother spoke to me and said, Anilji, I want to share something with you. I said, yes, Mrs. Kang. And she said, when the terrorists were in the lobby, Karamveer called me and said, Ma, a part of me wants to run to my own wife and children, and the other part says, how can I leave my own colleagues? I'm the son of a soldier. And he said, Ma, I hope Guruji will forgive me for this choice that I'm making, that I have to be with my colleagues. And that night at the President Hotel, when we were there, and the guests who came back, I met them personally, and they told stories about Thomas Verdes. Of course, next day when Mr. Krishna Kumar and Mr. Tata met Mrs. Verdes and said, thank you, Mrs. Verdes. We didn't know your husband is such a courageous man. And he said, sir, even I didn't know that Thomas was so courageous. All I knew is he loved the Taj and he loved the people. That's all she said. She now works in the HR department. I met her also the other day. So very interesting. So that's what made me reminded of my teacher, Swami Chidananda, who always would say, when you rise in love for a cause, when you feel in your heart that deep love for the work that you do and the people you work with, and you rise in love, then you become a servant in building the institution. You are not just a leader, leadership just happens to you. Well, I think this is a profound example in our times told to us And later on, when we were introspecting about our leadership development process with Taj, I kicked myself to say there is one leadership competency we did not put there. And later on, by the way, it was put in a different context when Mr. Tata asked us to do again this work with Tata Steel. This was that nowhere had we put this thing like higher purpose and courage. In Tata, it was implied, but it was not put as a leadership competency. But later on, when we did for Tata Steel the work, this was brought back into the leadership competency, which is higher purpose. Leaders who are inspired by higher purpose. Because normally management you do strategic thinking, working for results, stretch for execution, process orientation, innovation, customer advocacy. All these things are taught, but there is a language of liberal arts. Love, courage, standing for purpose, higher purpose. These are things which are not put in management schools, but these are the ones. That's why we need history and literature and music and poets and philosophers in management schools to remind us that it's the heart which matters more than the head. I think this is so important that Aloy is here today, and this is a symbol of the spirit of the Tata, the spirit of the Taj Group at Mahesh. You taught us a lot. When I was 20, you sent me into IIT to interview engineers. I've never done that in my life, but you made me feel. And I gave my first talk in IIT Madras. I talked as if I won't have done it. I would do it. But you taught that to us, right? And I think this was a great belief in the power of young people and the power of people that you have inculcated in this country. So thank you for reminding all of us that goodness really pays. In the long run, good people succeed, not just the greedy network, politician-oriented business, but good people succeed. So let's give a really big hand to
Thank you, everyone. Sorry, I couldn't take more questions. Oh, you did?
She's joining the other team.
In fact, because we have a joint venture with Starbucks, all my Taj service excellence lessons are coming back. Because in a way, Starbucks is also in the business of giving, I mean, they call their employees, even the smallest employee, partner.
Yes.
So, all different, it's very, yeah, all the best.
And this is the married life.
Yes.
Yes. Also the HR.
Yeah, my throat, thanks. Come here. Thank you.